In this video, you'll learn about the differences between primary and secondary data, as well as some important considerations when it comes to evaluating secondary data. Primary data are data that are collected for a specific purpose. These data come from first-hand sources, such as interviews or observations. Primary data is highly relevant. That's because it was designed and collected to answer your specific research question. It comes from first-hand sources such as surveys, questionnaires, and interviews. It's time-consuming to design, collect, and interpret the data, and for similar reasons, it can be quite expensive. Secondary data are data that have been gathered by someone else for another purpose. Secondary data are less relevant because they're intended for a different purpose than your own. You may not find the exact data that you need, but hopefully you can find data that are similar or close enough. Secondary data come from a variety of sources like books and government publications. It's less time-consuming to use secondary data because your time is only spent on finding and interpreting the data. Likewise, it's inexpensive because your only costs are time and access to the information needed. Before you rely on secondary data, you should evaluate it. Let's go over some things to consider. Number 1. What's the objective or purpose? The information should be unbiased. Think about why the data was collected and who did it. Number 2. Look at what information was collected. What are the units of measurement and key variables? Number 3. How is the information obtained? Look at their research methods, the design of their research instrument, and the response rate. Maybe they list a margin of error. These are all things to consider. Lastly, how current is the information? Is it likely that things have changed since the data was collected? This concludes our introduction to primary versus secondary data. I hope you were able to gather some insights into their differences and characteristics. Best of luck in your assignments, and thanks for watching.